When I was in LA, these young kids got into a gunfight. This young black guy got shot. He got shot by another gang member, and the police had him laying on the ground, and the paramedics hadn't gotten there yet, so the kid parents showed up, the mother and the father. They wanted to load their son into their car and take him to the hospital. Police wouldn't let them move the body. They insisted that they wait for the paramedic. The paramedic got there about 45 minutes later, and the guy had died. There was another episode where the paramedics came and picked up a guy and didn't take him to the nearest hospital. They rode him to a hospital that was like about 15 or 20 minutes away. He died en route to the hospital. They deliberately implement strategies of bringing on this demise of us melanated people through those type of corrupt ritualizations of how they handle our circumstances after they come around and shoot our children, just like the case with that little Trayvon who got shot by that Zimmerman fuck. But see, all this stuff is coming to an end. That's why I was telling you guys that investing in the green light will show the universe that you're tired of this stuff and you want to change. But your rejection of me shows that you like things the way that they are. And this is where you made one awful, probably the greatest mistake of all, was your rejection of the Son's Son. And you're all going to see that because the rain has started. And it started hard all over the country, just like I knew it would do. And you guys believe that that rain is bringing heat relief. No, that rain is setting up the circumstances for the greatest heat of all. Trust me on that. So you can know the whole demonstration of telling you the reluctance to support capitalism and everything, my honesty about everything was ordained by the universal creator who found a trust in me. For some reason they figured I would be the person to come out here and do exactly what I did as instructed by the Son, as made obvious to you all by the synonymous reaction that you all was able to witness the Son displaying for you to prove my authenticity as the Son died. My whole family, supposed to be friends, everyone ostracized me. I have a better relationship with people of acquaintances from going into Albertsons or whatever store I'm in that don't even know me. They treat me with so much warmth, with so much love, outside of the niggas and the foolish people I have to be around constantly who want to find a reason to hate me because of me striking out and stuff like this and being the person who's being ordained by the universe to hide the wisdom, to translate and interpret the interactions that I'm able to witness through YouTube. That brought on a lot of hatred from people, as the universe knew it would. And all the people who responded in a hateful manner, I want you to know you're the reason why this man is laying here dead on the ground now. Because when someone comes along to try to eradicate the elements that contribute to this type of decadence, that someone is ostracized and frowned on and outcasted by society in general with their foolish conditioned minds that they're not aware they're conditioned to be that way. So see, the prophets are not going to be the person who live in poverty on the planet. What's happening is that the prophets come down here to see if the people will come into compliance to make this a place that's suitable for God people to live. Once rejected and it's made obvious that this is something that cannot be attained, the fires go full scale. And it don't be long before everyone is on the ground, begging, can't breathe, burning, and wishing they had been in compliance. So you'd rather burn up than give $10 worth of appreciation pledging to the Son. Because as smart as the Son is, it's scented in its true personification of human beings on the earth. But the intruder humans who wants to keep the earth and wants the original owners on the earth to keep bowing down to them and worshiping them for everything, it's playing hardball. But I got something that you don't know that I'm going to tell you. You can't play hardball with the sun and win. See, because you can't shoot it, and you can't deprive it, and it has no need for your Jesus. So when you do those things to me, you're doing it to the person that the Son sent here as a medium between you and it. So you can do that to me. And it's like doing it to the Son. But the Son is not affected by it physically or mentally. What happens is the physical affection and the mental affection is directed right back to you. Because you also are the light that's inside of me. You just don't know that. So what's going to happen is that everything that I've told you and warned you about happening is going to happen. Because you guys did not hear the words and the warnings of the prophet. And even though you did hear them, you didn't pay attention to them enough to initiate the proper response. And as time went on and you kept hearing and you kept not doing anything, your opportunity to do something kept dwindling away. Because see, we don't have time for not sure people. There's too much riding on you needing to know what's right from wrong right now. And if you haven't figured it out, unfortunately, that's your problem. Because see, the universe knows all. And that's the reason why it's wise enough to see what you know, find out what you know, and make a determination about your outcome after you hear the Buddha, according to what your actions were after you heard the Buddha. So it's on you. Real simple. As you can see now, it's just so weird how first there was nothing there, and so from the nothing comes the absolute, and then all of a sudden there's a dead body and paper and you name it. That's life. Peace and blessings.
Shalom, this is Shemaiah Wan. I'm going to go into a little bit about the UFOs and who actually rides in the UFOs, all right? You see these men, this is Christ and the 12 disciples. So we're going to go into it and find out who are actually in these UFOs. UFO only means unidentified flying object. But the Israelites know what the UFOs are. They are the angels that ride in chariots, according to the scriptures. So where we're going to go first, we're going to go into Book of Revelation in the Bible first, and then I'll get to this other book I want to show you. Try to make this pretty quick. Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. You got a lot of people seeing UFOs today. Those are the chariots. Those are the clouds that Christ is talking about. He's going to come on a huge one. Okay? And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so. All right? So Christ is a black man. We'll go over real quick here. His head and his hairs, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So you see his hair, white like wool. Only one people on the face of the planet got woolly hair. All right. It says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if burned in a furnace. Look at a black man with brown skin, like bronze, same color. Christ is a black man with woolly hair. Just like this picture I got here. Okay. So now we're going to go over Acts, chapter 1, verse 9. Book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. This is the one you call Jesus Christ. So he went up on a cloud. So these men saw chariots come down, or UFOs come down and gravel, just like in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1 through 3. Okay, verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up.
I remember when I was prophesying to those people with LA, I was telling them that this Federation of Starship was coming here. I was under trance. I was talking to them. It's the first time I ever had an experience like that. It's the day that God spoke through me in that building in Hawaii, the Ilikai. And when he spoke through me, the whole building shook. That whole building shook. Everybody in the building. This is not a lie. I'm telling y'all the truth. When I started talking to those people up there on that floor where those Hollywood producers had their offices at, they had like a whole wing seemed like that they had bought where they housed all of their administration people at. They had rooms on that whole wing that they had their hierarchy production people staying at. And I went up there and was voicing to them my dissatisfaction with the treatment of us melanated people. And while I was talking to them, I started speaking the old ancient Kemetic language. And when I started speaking that language, I could hear God talking through me to them. And he said to them, "This is my servant whom I have selected, and you better not touch him." And we said that, that whole building was shaking. And I looked around at the faces of all those white people who was in there, and it was the whole multitude of everyone in the building had came from all around, all the floors and everything in that building. And they were all standing around me. And it was a big whole multitude of people standing there. It had to at least be about 100 to 200 people that were standing out in the hallway. They were standing by the elevators. They were standing everywhere. Whatever they were doing, they had just stopped doing it, and they were all listening to me. And I didn't even know they were behind me, because I was getting in that ass of the people in that office. And I was standing in the door yelling at those people in that office, telling them how fucked up they were for treating us like that, bringing us all there, treating us like shit, making us make this stupid ass sellout Hollywood movie for you. I was letting them have it. And then I started telling them about the Federation, and how the Federation was all black people, and how they had brought me to the earth and left me here in advance, and they were coming back to get me. And when they come back to get me, they're going to come and get y'all, and they're going to start these fires, and they're going to burn up everything on this earth. And you white people are really going to pay for the horrible shit that you guys have done. I was just going off on those people, but it wasn't me. My mouth was just moving, and the words were just coming out. And then God spoke to me, and he said, "You tell them that I am the one that has the power." And then I remember saying to them, I say, "And you watch, when you see them come back and get me, you're going to realize all the time that I had the damn power, and I was telling you the truth." That's what I told them. Now here go your Bible that you guys plagiarize from us ancient Kemetic people and talk about Jesus being sucked up into a spaceship. Well, this is not going to be the first time that happened. It happens all the time, and it doesn't just happen to Jesus. Every person on this earth has an opportunity to have your ass sucked up into a spaceship. Only difference is Jesus mostly gets sucked up under divine circumstances. A lot of you guys are going to be transported to places where you're going to wish you had not got sucked up by that spaceship. Know that.
Behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. So these were angels. All right? So if Christ looked that way, these angels, it says they were two men. So they don't look like aliens, green men. They were men. And they blended right in with the disciples. So it says, which also said, "Ye men of Galilee, or ye men of Israel, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? The same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner, as ye have seen him go into heaven." So these men knew Jesus Christ went up into a chariot, and they knew that these angels, these men in front of them, were angels. They came out of that chariot. All right? So those were black men as well, because all the disciples were black men. All right? So now we're going to go to another witness who saw these chariots. Over here in the book of Zechariah in the Old Testament, chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, the angel said unto him, "What seest thou?" And Zechariah answered, "I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the